And so you got to say this with me. So when I say, who's got the power? You're going to say, we got the power. And then I'm going to ask, what type of power? And you're going to say, people power. How that sound to you? Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
I said, who's got the power?
We got the power.
What type of power?
People power.
All right, we're gonna do that again after I'm done speaking, and you're gonna do it like you believe it. How about that?
Absolutely.
It was all right for now. Okay. Well, I'm very excited to be here. The People's Convention. I believe is the first People's Convention being held. We need to have many more People's Convention.
Absolutely.
We need to have many more People's Assemblies. We need to have many more People's Convenings that talk to the real issues of real people. Because the two bozos that are running for president have no interest in advancing the struggles of working class people. So we got to do for ourselves what we know this economic and political system will not do for us. We are responsible for advancing the struggles of our people. I want to share some data. And if you feel a certain way, feel free to respond to it. 800 people die of poverty-related issues in the United States every day. 800 people die every day of poverty-related issues in this country. This country has 25% of the world's incarcerated population.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This country.
Yeah.
This country that proclaims to be the beacon of democracy has one of the most undemocratic processes to be able to elect whoever is going to represent us, be it local, be it statewide, or be it nationwide. I know that my comrade Dr. Jill Stein spoke before, and she probably spoke about the hurdles to be able to expand democracy in this country. It is crazy. It is crazy that each state has a different regulation for people to access the ballot. It is crazy that if you don't have millions of dollars, you can't actually run a campaign to match the campaign of the two corporate parties of this country. I don't know about you, but has Biden ever come to your hood?
Nah, absolutely not.
Or Trump?
Nah.
Have they ever actually resolved the most basic needs of working class people?
Absolutely.
Have our lives changed at all? Now, I am Black, Caribbean, and there's a legacy of resistance
Absolutely.
that I'm a part of.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna start with Harriet Tubman.
Okay.
Harriet Tubman did not want a seat in the master's house.
Mm-hmm.
Harriet Tubman was not trying to sit right there with the slave owner and negotiate her exploitation. She was trying to burn shit down.
Absolutely.
She was trying to free as much people as possible from the chains of slavery. She believed in the reconstruction of society to serve the needs of Black enslaved people. That's my tradition.
Absolutely.
My tradition is of a W.E.B. Du Bois.
Okay. Okay.
Is of a Claudia Jones.
Okay. Okay.
Fred Hampton, when he was talking to the people, and he said, socialism is the people, and if you fear socialism, then you fear the people. He wasn't joking.
Right.
He died. He was killed because of those principles.
Absolutely.
So we're not here for reforms. We're here for goddamn revolution.
Okay.
We are here for the entire reorganization of society to benefit those who produce everything we have. COVID. Essential workers. Did you ever hear of essential CEOs? Let me know. Did any of you hear essential CEOs? What did we hear? Essential who?
Workers.
Because we are the essential class. They treat us as if we're not. When you have a Jeff Bezos that makes $7.9 million an hour in 2023, that is ridiculous. And it's insulting.
Say it.
And it should be illegal for one human being to make $7.9 million off the back of the working class.
Absolutely.
Because as you have one man who makes billions of dollars out of the exploitation of millions of workers, you have millions of workers asking for $22 an hour and better working conditions. That should be illegal. And there is a dictatorship of billionaires in this country like Jeff Bezos, like Elon Musk, like the folks, the owners of Walmart, where people don't even have the right to take care of themselves where they go to work. Right. They can't wear shorts during a heat wave. They're charged $2 to wear shorts to be able to accommodate themselves to the conditions that are horrible where they are. They're told to bring their cups because the company won't allow them cups in their workplace to drink water. That is the condition of millions of workers across the wealthiest country in the world. That is a sin. They talk about sin, that is sinful. That is terror. What is happening across the globe, not because the U.S., is complicit, because we give them too much space to do the type of shit they do.
Say it.
We're too nice.
Yeah.
They're not complicit. They are collaborators. They are collaborators. They benefit for the destruction of the people in Palestine.
Absolutely.
They benefit from having the colonial state of Israel.
Absolutely.
On Palestinian land.
Absolutely.
They benefit in the same way that NATO has a role in Europe. In the same way that AFRICOM has a role in Africa. In the same way that the Southern Command in this territory of the American continent has a role to police the rest of the world and keep them in line with U.S. interest. And those of us in the room should know a good amount about policing because they do that shit here.
Yeah.
And so we need to understand how connected our struggles are.
Absolutely.
The working class people of this country, multinational, from different ethnicities, from different nationalities, from different age groups, from different races, we have more in common with the people of the global South, with Palestine, with Africa, with Latin America and the Caribbean than the people that are running this country right now.
Absolutely. Say it.
We have more in common with them than we do with these suckers. They're a joke. They're a joke. I don't know how many of you saw the debacle that they called a debate.
No doubt.
It was a joke. And if you didn't see it, I'm not gonna judge you because you done saved yourself 2 good hours of your life. It was the worst thing possible because it was very obvious that they're playing for the same team. You gonna hate on immigrants? Oh no, I could really hate on immigrants. You gonna talk about policing? Oh no, I did it better. I policed the whole United States. They were literally playing for the same team. There has not been a moment in history where we should be clear on who our enemy is. And our enemy is not in China. Our enemy is not in Russia. Our enemy is not in Cuba. Our enemies are not in Venezuela. They're in the Pentagon.
Right.
Our enemies are in Congress.
Say it.
Our enemies are in the White House.
Say it.
They are criminals.
Absolutely.
That's what they are. And not only are they criminals based on what they're doing in Palestine, but for the hundreds of years of the most horrendous acts they've done in this country and all across the globe.
Say it.
Because Palestine is not an isolated thing. This country was built on genocide. This country was built on slavery. And the system that we have today, the system that we understand to be the economic and political system of this country, is nothing more than a different iteration of the same slave economy. The biggest theft recorded in this country is wage theft. It is wage theft. We don't have any democratic rights. How many of you choose how much money you're gonna get paid? If you raise your hands, please employ me. How many of you choose what you're gonna get paid? How many of you choose the type of housing you get based on what you like, not necessarily based on what you can afford?
Right.
Anybody? Because I'm about to move in. And so, what type of democracy is that tells us that we can go vote for someone that's not going to do jack for us, but does not provide the most basic human needs that we need and we deserve? Because again, we make this world run. And so at some point, we gotta be mad, man. At some point, we gotta be fed up. I don't know about you, but I'm fed the F up. There's babies here. I'm done. At some point, you have to be able to say, reforms aren't enough. And actually, you cannot reform capitalism. There's no such a thing as reforming capitalism. We've been trying that for way too long.
Way too long.
And every advancement that we make, they take it away from us. Because every structure that they've created has been to be able to serve the ruling class. Those few that have it all. Roe versus Wade. The right women have to decide over their bodies. The Democrats didn't give that to us. People fought for that. Voting rights, people were hosed down, people were killed, people were jailed. And I don't know about you, but none of my ancestors fought for me to have access to a ballot alone. That ain't enough for me. They fought for us to have economic, political, and social power. If we're not the ones making the decisions, ballot access ain't shit. Actually, respectfully. And so, I didn't come here to say, we're running this campaign. We need to build an independent movement of working class poor people.
No doubt.
That is not dependent on Democrats. That is not dependent on Republicans. That is moved forward by the forces of working class people who understand that we have everything we need to make a revolution in this country.
Absolutely.
That's what we need.
No doubt.
We need to build political organization.
No doubt.
Electoral politics is part of that equation.
Only part.
It is part of that equation. And I'll give you an example before I know it's my time. Every campaign that has had some sort of glimpse of progressive within the Democratic Party has gone there to die. Y'all got phones, you use Google, you do all sorts of things. Henry Wallace in the 1940s, progressive candidate, they buried that campaign. Forward to the 1980s, because I'm not going to give you the lineup. 1980s, Jesse Jackson, twice, buried that campaign. Bernie Sanders, I can say a lot, and I'm going to spare you. But the Bernie campaign actually mobilized a lot of progressive people and a lot of movements. And if you think that Biden was chosen to defeat Trump, you're drinking half of the Kool-Aid. He was actually handpicked to defeat Bernie.
Right.
Because the Democratic Party has no interest on moving not an inch towards the left.
Right.
They have no interest in advancing any of the things that they promise us. Because if they do, then there's no purpose to them in that. They're not profiting as they like to profit from our misery. And then they have nothing to dangle in front of us. You want more workers' rights? You got to vote for us. You want women's rights? You got to vote for us. We're going to defend them. But they cede time and time again to the right. This country has moved further right since 1984 than you can ever imagine. It's going right and right and right. And that is the direction of the Democrats. What does that teach us? That we are responsible for building the political instruments of working class people that will actually advance our struggles. That we cannot depend on their tools to advance our interests. Because that's not what they're there for. I think it's important to say, there are people who will say, well, what is viable? If we lived in a democratic democratic society, getting ballot access in over 20 states would be yes. Getting over 270 electoral would be yes. But that's not what they want, and that's not what they're going to allow to pass. And the campaign that we're running, we're not running it in the naive space of things. We know exactly what this political and economic system will allow and will not allow. The purpose of our campaign is to build a movement.
No doubt.
To go beyond this moment. Mm-hmm. To be able to build the confidence of working class people to understand that we do not need them and we don't have to depend on them, and that we are able to move things. That is the only way we have been able to move anything in society. Every and any gains that we've ever had has been through struggle. They have never given us anything based on the benevolence of their heart. And why are reforms not good enough? Because they have a Supreme Court that should be abolished. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, the Supreme Court decides what reforms move on and which ones die according to who needs what. And it's never the people. So we could win reforms, but those reforms are going to be rolled back as soon as they feel like it's not necessary for them. And so we are responsible. Politics goes beyond the every 4-year thing.
Right.
Politics is done every day.
Every day.
And it's done in work, like working in communities. I see the Poor People's Army. Working in communities. If you're in places like Philadelphia, defending the territory of the communities that are being gentrified.
No doubt.
Actually building programs that talk to the needs of people that are being pushed away, that are being marginalized, that are being criminalized. That's our task. Elevating that consciousness. Organizing shoulder to shoulder. Allowing ourselves to be politicized by our people. That is the work. And if we're able to do that, we will build a force to be reckoned with. But for as long as we continue to play their games within their limited views, we will not advance the struggles of our people. We have to imagine everything that is possible beyond the possibilities that they give us. Because their possibilities are tortured. Their possibilities are limited. Their possibilities lack creativity. And if it's something that we have as working class people, is that we make shit happen.
No doubt.
So we need to go beyond whatever it is that they're telling us. They tell us that we should believe that the end of the world could actually come before the end of capitalism. They want us to believe that.
Right.
And I have to say that the end of capitalism is near and is actually up for grabs.
Absolutely. Say it.
The end of capitalism is like right around the corner.
Come on,
and that's why they fear. That's why they're building all the cop cities that they're building. That's why they're militarizing our communities. That is why they're taking the power of people to be able to unionize. They're taking the power of students to be able to build student movements. They fear us. We have the power. They might have the economic power. They might have the force of the police and the military. But we need to become ungovernable.
Say it.
We need to become ungovernable under capitalism and not be afraid. People, you mentioned Asada Shakur.
Yeah.
You mentioned, Ella Baker. You could mention all of our ancestors. Black, brown, yellow. We have a lineage of people that stand up straight with dignity and that fight and actually confront the powers that be. And if we are unable to do that, then we're doing a disservice to the babies.
Straight up.
Because they won't learn how to fight. If there's something to learn from the Palestinian community, which is not a theme of the moment, is a heart of a movement. It is what we need to have in our center grounding us. The people of Palestine have resisted for 76 plus years. We have been witnessing what has happened in the last 10 months, but there's a lot of things we haven't seen. Of an apartheid state, of a dehumanizing state, and a state that was created by U.S. imperialism and European powers. And if there's something we need to learn, is that we fight till we win. We fight until we win, because we will win. Because the trajectory of capitalism is to eat itself. It's to eat itself. And so we got to keep pushing. I am so grateful for the opportunity to, speak with you and be here in community. I love seeing my sister Jill in all spaces where we've been in many spaces. I know that Melinda's going to be on tomorrow. Our fight is against capitalism. Our fight is against U.S. imperialism. And our fight is to build towards liberation. And that means that we need more than one organization. We need many organizations willing to work principally and in unity towards a strategy and a vision of the world that for us is socialism. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Y'all give it up for the infamous Claudia de la Cruz.